Week one of the NFL season is here. It kicks off on Thursday night. We've got some bets to talk about, and here to help us out, we've got DraftKings contributor Pearce Detrich. We've got Rotowire's AJ Scholz. So taking a look at your favorite bets for week one of the NFL season. Guys, Thursday opener, it's a big one. It's Tom Brady, it's the Cowboys, the Bucks. 7.5-point favorites currently at home. Game total 52 points. What's your favorite bet for this first game of the NFL season, AJ?
Well, in terms of the game itself, I actually like Dallas to cover in this position with the line being at 7.5. You know, I think they can keep it close within a touchdown. I think we're going to get more out of this offense than a lot of people are giving them credit for. And to that end, I actually really like the value you can get in terms of player props for Amari Cooper to score a touchdown at plus 175. Look, I know Lamb has been emerging here, but Cooper should continue to see the bulk of the targets. And you're getting better value, actually, on Amari Cooper on the DK Sportsbook than you are on Lamb. If you're looking for an absolute spot to maybe sprinkle and go all out here, you can get Zeke Elliott on the DK Sportsbook as the first touchdown scorer in the game at plus 750. That's got some intrigue there. Obviously, you know, the coin toss could be a huge factor there, but I wouldn't be surprised about that one either.
All right, Pearce, how about you?
Tom Brady under 303.5 yards. I know football fans are excited about this Tampa offense. They've got tons of weapons. They looked great at the end of last season. They were gelling, but it was more than just gelling. They changed the game plan. They got really aggressive. They were passing early in the downs because they were prepping for the playoffs. This isn't the playoffs. This is game one of a 17-game season with a 40-plus-year-old quarterback. There is no reason for him to drop back 40 times in this game. They've got a great defense, play good defense. They can run the ball. They should be able to easily beat Dallas in this game. There's no reason for them to be incredibly aggressive in this. I mean, I know they have the weapons, and I know that Dallas is vulnerable, and they could absolutely boat race them. But there's no reason to do that this week, the next week, or any week until they get to the playoffs. So I think Tampa plays it conservative, and Tom goes under 303.5.
Let's move on to the Sunday slate, gentlemen. Which spread are you liking for week one? Pearce?
I love the Colts plus 2.5. If you can get it up to 3, which I think it's going to go in that direction, then take it. Seattle, their explosive offense, it does really well against man-to-man coverage. Indianapolis plays a zone, so I don't see DK Metcalf really breaking out in this game. Russell Wilson scrambling. He's not going to be as effective against his zone defense. Seattle's defense also has question marks as well. So what's the deal with this game? It's just people overreacting to Carson Wentz not playing in the preseason. Aaron Rodgers isn't playing in the preseason. Quarterbacks rarely play in the preseason. What are we talking about? The Colts have a great offensive line. They've got a great coach, pretty good defense, plenty of offensive weapons. They're at home. The reports say that Wentz looks good in practice. I don't understand this. I love the Colts plus 2.5. If I can get 3, I'll take it.
All right, AJ.
I agree with Pearce. I like that line as well. But for me, look, maybe I'm overvaluing the Jags a little bit, but Jacksonville minus 2.5, I think is a great spot. Look, this Houston team is a nightmare. They're going to be bad this year. There's no doubt about it. Tyrod Taylor is their starting quarterback. That's problem number one. Their best defensive player left in the offseason. Literally every good player on this Texans team usually leaves after a year or two. So they are going to be absolutely terrible. The Jags seem to have found the quarterback they need finally in Trevor Lawrence. Look, for me, I honestly think you're good giving up a full touchdown here. You can get the Jags minus 6.5 for plus 170 value. I think that is a phenomenal spot to get some really good value because this Houston team is just going to be awful.
How about a game total on Sunday's slate that really catches your eye, AJ?
Chicago versus the Rams, I think, is a good spot here. You know, in my opinion, we've got a really weak offense out of Chicago that's going to struggle to put up points. Even if they, you know, reverse course all of a sudden and put Justin Fields in game one, I still don't have a lot of faith in this team being able to produce. So you come in with an under 45 points here. That shouldn't be a big problem because it might be LA that has to do all the work to get to that mark. They do have Matthew Stafford, so I think they can put up some offensive numbers here. But without the help of the Bears, who I wouldn't be surprised if they're completely blanked in some of these games this season, I just don't see how you get over that 45-point mark.
Okay, Pearce.
I'll join AJ with team under 42.5 on the Denver-New York game. I know that's pretty low, but it's low for a reason. Denver with Teddy Bridgewater, I don't imagine they're going to go into this game really winging it around. I mean, they're only a field goal favorite on the road. Teddy Bridgewater's been a game manager his whole career. I understand that they've got some weapons in the receiving core with Denver, but this is his first game. Denver would be wise to just play really good defense, which they can do, and take the win on the road. Even if Denver somehow manages to put up a bunch of points in this game, how are the Giants going to score? Are the Giants going to be able to score against this really awesome Denver defense? Is Daniel Jones going to move the ball? Probably not. Is he even going to get a chance to move the ball? Jason Garrett's likely going to run the ball a lot with Barkley behind an offensive line that's pretty questionable. So even if for whatever reason Teddy Bridgewater does have an amazing game, I don't see the Giants scoring at all. So give me the under at 42.5.
Which team with plus money would you be willing to take a shot on in week 1, Pearce?
Steelers plus 240. When do we ever get the Steelers at this kind of number? And I get that they struggled at the end of last season. They went 1-5 against good teams, and they're playing a good team here. But the problem was they were very conservative on offense. They were very predictable, and it worked against bad teams. But when they faced good teams, they lost games. Well, they're facing a good team, but they've changed offensive coordinators. They've got a guy with a coaching college background. He says he's going to let Roethlisberger do his thing. They're going to mix it up. And really, they don't have to get that crazy on offense. Just be a little less predictable. Just spice it up a little. They have plenty of offensive weapons. Yeah, their offensive line is not that great, but it wasn't great last season. The defense is still amazing. All they really have to do is just be a little bit more aggressive. They got plenty of weapons here that they can win this game outright.
AJ, a team with plus money you like week 1?
Well, Pearce talked about the Colts covering the spread. I honestly think taking them on the money line is a good bet at 120 here. He highlighted perfectly all the reasons, Jonathan Taylor should get plenty of action here, plenty of touches. And I do think we're discounting Carson Wentz. But if we're willing to go maybe beyond the Sunday slate and look maybe a little bit at Monday, I actually like the Raiders at plus 180. You've got a Baltimore team that lost its number 1 running back. They're probably going to rely maybe too heavily on Jackson here. And so I think, honestly, you're getting really good value at plus 180 to take the Raiders.
All right, guys, we'll bring it home with this, your slate-approved pick. So your favorite bet on any game in week 1 of this glorious 2021 NFL season is what, AJ?
I'm going to look at the Miami-New England game here, and I'm going to take the Patriots. And I will go even further to, give up that extra half a point. They were coming in at -3. If you go to -3.5 on the alternate lines on that DK Sportsbook, you get plus 110 in terms of value, which I think is a really fair trade-off to move onto the positive side of value here. And then I also really like in this game, Damian Harris as an anytime touchdown scorer here at plus 105. He's the favorite of all the players in this game to score, and that's with good reason here. I think 105 is decent, even money value to take that bet.
All right, Pearce, how about you?
Chiefs -6 if it's still there. I can't imagine that it's still there. It's got to start going up at this point. We all know the narrative, and I'm sorry if you've heard it plenty of times over the last month. You're going to continue to hear it. If Andy Reid has plenty of time to prepare for a game, he wins that game coming off of a bye. You also look at his stats in September over the last couple years, 13-0, 11-2 against the spread, 6 points at home, and it's a hungry team, right? Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek, they all want to win. They want to get away that bitter taste of losing the Super Bowl. They'll be explosive. Their offensive line has improved a little bit. I think this is just too small of a line. You play the Chiefs, especially at home in September.